Hey, we're back. I'm your host, and we're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge, BKP. Here, beautiful, cool October morning, and it is election time out there. And joining me now is a candidate on the Fannin County for the Fannin County Board of Education. His name is on the ballot, and I want to welcome Jeff DePaola. Right? Did I have that correct?
You got that right.
Jeff, how are you this morning?
Excellent, thank you.
You know, the first question any candidate that I sit down with is, what inspired you? What is the reason you want to be on the Fannin County Board of Education?
Well, it's a great question, and I'll have to say I moved up to Blue Ridge to get away from the big city life and maybe slow down a little bit, but Fannin County doesn't let you do that, I found out. It's like a big family here. I went on to the Leadership Fannin program 2 years ago, and we had Education Day, and got exposed to the school system. And then the following year, I was a support member for Leadership Fannin and got to go through the program again. And I was most impressed with our school system on that visit through Leadership Fannin. And while I was in Atlanta, I saw the power of the schools. I did real estate for many years in Atlanta, and I saw how the public schools there really drove where people wanted to live. And some of those schools became very successful because of participation through the community, parents, and businesses. And so I was called by the Democratic Party to run. And I'd never run for any position before that required an election, and I'm happy to be part of the process, and I don't see the school board as a partisan position. I think the current school board is doing a great job, and I think Bobby Bearden, who I'm running against, is an excellent man and has done a great job. And he's been in for 4 terms, and I just would like to be a fresh set of eyes. And I've got a good business background. I did work for Delta Airlines for 20 years prior to getting into real estate. And I started with them right out of high school. And it was just an excellent company to work with, to learn about business, to learn about plugging into a culture of a business, because the school system is a business as well as it is managing people, the people that work.
Largest budget in the county.
Yeah. So that's a big responsibility for the school board to be the eyes and ears of that budget and how the money's being spent.
There's a lot of facets to the school board itself. Obviously, first and foremost priorities are students, but you can't take away from the fact that the operation budget of they're enormous in these districts. And
exactly. So
things like that. Well, what are some of the top priorities you see on the school board that, what are some of the top priorities there?
Well, one of the passions I have and that I'd like to bring to the table is something that's already being done in this system to a small degree, is official mentoring and tutoring programs. And I saw that firsthand in Atlanta. I've had the opportunity while I was working at Delta and affiliated with a local Boys and Girls Club to target children from the Capitol Homes housing project in Atlanta, and we did a multi-year mentoring program with the same group of kids, and we saw the effects of that mentoring program, which basically broke those kids out of that cycle that they were in, because there's so much underlying pressure in whatever situation a child is being brought up in, whether it's in a housing project in the inner city or here in Fannin County. There's a variety of things and situations that kids are in, that mentoring somebody with an outside view of other than what the child is living in can help them see their life in a different way. And just regular interaction with a child can make a huge difference.
And how, and relating to that, how do you see the board's role in the district, in the relationship with them and the families and the community? How do you see that?
Well, community involvement is huge in a school district. I mean, the community's putting their trust in the elected officials to be a part of the process and to communicate back to them what's going on. And I think we've got we're a growing community here. I see that with the real estate side of things. Like I said, I moved up here to kind of slow down and have a quiet life, and that's far from what's happening here in Fannin County. So it's like, let's be a part of that growth and let's manage it properly. We've got quality people moving here, a lot of retirees, full and part-time moving here that have come from various backgrounds, different businesses and education. And I think that we could get them to plug into our school system and maybe a mentoring and tutoring program.
What do you see as the future of the board now? When you decided to run, and I have, so I understood when you said you went through the leadership classes. Mm-hmm. I went through the leadership, and you do have school day where you go through the schools and they break down everything they do. And a lot of people tell me that's eye-opening.
It is. Very much so.
Very much eye-opening and connects everything together. So what could the people of Fannin County, if they wanted to vote for you, what could they expect from you as a board member and what you would like to see the future of the board be about?
Well, I think it's just the responsibility that you have as a board member to communicate what's going on with the system back to the citizens of the county, and just make sure there's very much an open door policy, opportunities to discuss concerns that there might be along the way. There is a lot of money that we need to account for every year in the school budget, and I've got a good background in real estate. I'd like to think I could be a good set of eyes, anything real estate related, which there is always that when in the school system.
But let me ask you this, not to interrupt you, but
sure.
We're in an age of technology. Okay, yep. We're in an age of technology to where when we go to school board meetings, we don't talk as much about textbooks as we do Chromebooks. Right, there you go, right?
Exactly.
So you have an extensive, your 20-year career as a computer programmer at Delta Airline. So do you think you bring something as far as the technical future of schools, being able to look into that and be a positive where that's concerned?
Oh, absolutely. My main knowledge of computers was mainframe technology, which we did integrate a lot of the newer technologies that came along. This was the early 1980s when I got trained as a computer programmer. So I understand the whole behind the scenes of what it takes to implement technology. And I think there needs to be a balance there in education. I don't know if we realize what the effects would be of going overboard with technology in schools versus more hands-on and face-to-face and holding a book in your hand and that sort of thing. It's an evolving thing.
Before we close, let me ask you, what is one thing that you want to make sure that the voters today of Fannin County know from Jeff DePaola why you're running, or what message do you want to make sure the voters hear from you this morning?
Well, I think I have a passion for this. I think that I can make a difference here in this county, and I would like to think I'd be very approachable. I would be happy to talk with anyone in the county about any concerns they have and then convey that back. I mean, our role is to have a good relationship with the superintendent and the administration and make sure that information is funneled through the right way, and I'd like to be a vehicle for that.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Jeff. I wish you well. Now, I hear a lot about testing. We keep hearing testing, and we keep hearing about graduation testing. I've only got one request. I do this with everybody.
Yep.
That I do want a graduation test. Yeah, I do. In order to graduate, I want you to be not able to use them. That's okay. But I want you to be able to, on a set of flashcards, be able to identify the top 5 tools in the world and be able to change a tire and oil. If you can do that, you can graduate. That's my. You're not the first person. I tell that to everybody. I want a flashcard of what tool is this? Hey, then you can get out.
Flashcards are still one of the best tools in education. I swear. Sometimes the basics are good.
Jeff, we wish you well. We wish you well. Jeff DePaola, he is on the ballot for Fannin County Board of Education over here when you go to vote. And that's our segment with our Board of Education candidate, Jeff DePaola. And you can find this if you want to share it with others on FYN TV, Fetcher News YouTube channel. And we'll also be posting this on Facebook if you want to share it, and our website, Fetcher News. Again, Jeff, thank you very much. We wish you well here. Okay, we come back. It's time for our all-star political panel, so we'll be back right after these messages.